Ma'am, I need to see some ID. What are you doing here?
Work here. I'm just heading to my car.
Uh-huh. Sure. Which department?
I'm with anesthesia.
Right. So you're like a nurse or something?
No, I'm a physician. I really
Tur-
need to get home.
Turn around. Hands behind your back. You're being detained.
I'm recording this.
Officer Davidson had no idea what he just walked into. In the next 72 hours, his body camera footage would go viral. The hospital would suspend him from their volunteer police training program, and the city would face a $16 million lawsuit. The woman in surgical scrubs he just handcuffed was Dr. Shayla Williams. She was a board-certified anesthesiologist with 12 years of experience. Dr. Williams wasn't just any doctor. She was the lead instructor for the department's own medical emergency response training. She taught officers like Davidson how to save lives during critical incidents. She had trained over 200 cops in trauma care. She personally designed their first aid curriculum. And the hospital's security cameras were capturing everything, including the moment 3 nurses ran outside, screaming that he just arrested their attending physician in the staff parking lot. Before I continue, let me ask you, have you ever been treated unfairly by someone in power? Drop your answer in the comments. But Officer Davidson had no idea who he was handcuffing. Dr. Shayla Williams was 38 years old. She was a board-certified anesthesiologist at Metro General Hospital. She graduated from Johns Hopkins Medical School in the top 10% of her class. She completed her residency at Massachusetts General Hospital. Over her career, she had worked on over 8,000 successful surgical procedures. Here's what Davidson didn't know. Dr. Williams was the lead medical instructor for the Metro Police Department's Emergency Medical Response Program. She had held that position since 2019. She personally trained Officer Davidson just 6 months earlier in trauma life support. She designed the department's tactical first aid curriculum. The mayor's office gave her a Community Service Award in 2021. She was a guest lecturer at the Police Academy on officer wellness and stress management. That night, Dr. Williams had just finished a 14-hour shift. She completed 3 emergency surgeries. She was walking to her car in the hospital staff parking lot at 11:47 p.m. She was still wearing surgical scrubs. Her hospital ID badge was clearly visible. She was exhausted. She just wanted to get home to her 2 daughters. On this Tuesday night in September 2023, Dr. Williams was just trying to end another long shift and drive home. Officer Jake Davidson had been on the force for exactly 9 months. He was 24 years old. He was a probationary officer with the Metro Police Department. Before becoming a cop, he worked as a security guard. He had minimal college education. He graduated from the Police Academy in July 2022. He finished in the middle of his class. In his first 9 months, Davidson had a problem. He accumulated 14 complaints. 12 of those complaints involved black residents. All were dismissed due to insufficient evidence. Here are 3 examples. In month 2, he pulled over a black businessman in a luxury car at 2 p.m. The reason? Suspicious vehicle. He issued no citation. The man filed a complaint for racial profiling. In month 5, Davidson detained a black teenager outside his own home for loitering. The teen's mother was a city councilwoman. Davidson received a written warning internally. In month 7, he questioned a black family having a picnic in a public park. He demanded multiple IDs. The family filed a formal complaint. This wasn't even his first incident at the hospital. In month 8, a black male nurse filed a complaint. Davidson had stopped him leaving his night shift. He accused the nurse of not looking like hospital staff. Inside the department, people knew. His supervising sergeant noted overzealous enforcement in his file. His field training officer recommended extended probation. Fellow officers called him Rookie Rambo behind his back, yet he remained on active duty with full patrol authority. On this night, Davidson was working solo patrol near the hospital district, and this time, his bias would cost the city millions. Type justice in the comments if you think officers like this should face real consequences. It was Tuesday, September 12, 2023, at 11:47 p.m. The location was Metro General Hospital staff parking lot, Section C. This was the physician-reserved area. It was a well-lit area with security cameras at every corner. The parking lot was located in a mixed-income neighborhood. It was 3 blocks from the main hospital entrance. The neighborhood had recent community complaints about over-policing. It was a quiet night. Scattered night shift staff were walking to their vehicles. The temperature was around 58 degrees. You could hear distant ambulance sirens from the ER entrance. A security guard booth was visible 50 yards away. Motion sensor lights lit up the parking rows. Dr. Williams was finishing documentation in the doctor's lounge. 2 night shift nurses, Jennifer Colt and Marcus Hayes, were leaving through the same exit. Security guard Thomas Bennett was monitoring cameras. 4 other staff members were in various parking sections. At 11:43 p.m., Davidson cruised slowly through the parking lot. He noticed Dr. Williams walking alone. She was in surgical scrubs. Her natural hair was in braids. He immediately pulled his squad car to block her path to her vehicle. His body camera automatically turned on. Hospital security cameras captured the wide angle. Dr. Williams was startled. She stopped walking. She had an exhausted look on her face. Davidson got out of his vehicle. His hand was near his weapon, but not drawn. Her hospital ID badge was clearly visible on her scrubs. Her BMW SUV with MD plates was 20 feet away. She reached for her phone. Davidson told her to keep her hands visible. That's when Officer Davidson made the first of many bad decisions. If stories like this matter to you, hit subscribe. This is a restricted area. You need to provide identification immediately. Dr. Williams was calm but exhausted. I work here. My ID is on my badge right here. I'm a physician. I didn't ask what you claim to be. I need government-issued ID. Now. My wallet is in my car. Can I just... Stop. Do not move toward that vehicle. Keep your hands where I can see them. Dr. Williams looked confused. Officer, I've been here for 14 hours. I just finished surgery. My badge has my photo. Ma'am, I don't know how you got that badge. This area is for hospital staff only. Now Dr. Williams spoke more firmly. I am hospital staff. I'm Dr. Shayla Williams, Anesthesiology Department. Davidson was condescending. And what were you really doing back here? I literally just told you. I'm walking to my car after my shift. Your story isn't adding up. Why are you really in this parking lot at midnight? Dr. Williams was getting frustrated. Because I work here, call hospital security, call my department. This is ridiculous. Don't tell me how to do my job. You're being uncooperative. I've answered every question. What exactly am I being accused of? Suspicious activity, possible trespassing, failure to provide adequate identification. My name is on this badge. My car is right there with MD plates. What more do you need? Turn around. Place your hands behind your back. Dr. Williams was shocked. You're arresting me for what? You're being detained for investigation. Stop resisting. I'm not resisting. I'm standing still. That's when witnesses started running over. Nurse Jennifer Colt yelled, "Wait, officer, that's Dr. Williams. She works here." Nurse Marcus Hayes was shouting, "What are you doing? That's our attending physician." Security guard Bennett approached quickly. "Sir, I can verify that's Dr. Williams from anesthesia." Davidson ignored all the witnesses. He pulled out his handcuffs. Dr. Williams' voice was shaking but controlled. Davidson grabbed her wrist. She pulled back without thinking. "Now you're resisting arrest." The handcuffs clicked. Dr. Williams stood there in disbelief. Tears were forming in her eyes. 3 nurses now surrounded them. They all had their phones out recording. What Officer Davidson didn't know was that he just handcuffed the woman who taught him how to save a life 6 months earlier. And everyone was watching. The night shift supervisor, Dr. Patricia Chen, walked out of the hospital. She saw the commotion. Dr. Chen was shocked. "Officer, what are you doing? That's Dr. Williams." Davidson was dismissive. "Ma'am, step back. this doesn't concern you. I'm the chief of anesthesiology. She's one of MY doctors. Release her immediately. Dr. Chen turned to Davidson. Do you know who this is? She teaches police officers emergency medicine. She might have even trained you. Dr. Williams spoke quietly. She was humiliated. I did train him. Officer Davidson, Session 4B, June 2023, Trauma Airway Management. Davidson froze. You could see him processing this. Then he got defensive. That's not. This is different. She was acting suspicious. Now more witnesses spoke up. Nurse Jennifer Colt had worked there for 7 years. She's been here since 9 a.m. this morning. I watched her save 3 lives today. This is wrong. Security guard Thomas Bennett pulled out his tablet. Officer, I have her on camera entering at 8:47 a.m. She clocked in. She parks here every shift. I can show you the logs. Dr. Patricia Chen was already on her phone. I'm calling hospital administration and your supervisor. This is racial profiling and we have it on camera. Nurse Marcus Hayes held up his phone. I'm live streaming this. 1,100 people watching right now. 4 phones were recording from different angles. The hospital security system was capturing everything from 5 cameras. Davidson's body camera was still running. The department policy said it had to stay on. Time-stamped entry logs showed Dr. Williams' 15-hour shift. Her hospital ID badge with her clearance level was visible in all the footage. Her BMW had MD plates. A hospital parking permit sat on the dashboard. At 11:54 p.m., Dr. Chen called the hospital's CEO at home. At 11:55 p.m., security guard Bennett called the shift commander. At 11:57 p.m., Davidson's sergeant, Ramon Torres, arrived on scene. At 11:58 p.m., the hospital legal counsel was contacted. At 12:01 a.m., a police lieutenant was on the way. Sergeant Torres arrived. He was furious. He kept his voice low. Davidson, do you know who this is? Davidson was stammering. She matched a description. What description of what, where? Suspicious person in the area. There's no call, no alert. You stopped her on your own. Davidson looked at his squad car. His training manual sat on the passenger seat. Dr. Williams' photo was on the instructor page. His face went pale. The body camera caught it all. Davidson tried to backtrack. I was just doing my job. She didn't properly identify herself, but his own body cam proved that was a lie. She was acting nervous. The footage showed her calm and exhausted. I thought the badge might be fake. Security confirmed it was real. Each excuse fell apart in real time. The witnesses and evidence destroyed his story. By 12:03 a.m., Officer Davidson was starting to understand. He hadn't just made a mistake. He destroyed his career, and the whole world was about to watch. Let me know in the comments what you think should happen to officers who do this. At 12:08 a.m., Lieutenant Sarah Morrison arrived. She was a 20-year veteran with an internal affairs background. At 12:10 a.m., the hospital's CEO, Dr. Robert Mendez, arrived in person. At 12:12 a.m., the hospital legal team started a conference call. Davidson's sergeant separated him from Dr. Williams. The handcuffs came off Dr. Williams. She had been cuffed for 11 minutes. Lieutenant Morrison started her investigation immediately. She reviewed Davidson's body camera footage right there on scene. The security director downloaded all 5 camera angles to a USB drive. Hospital HR pulled Dr. Williams' employment records instantly. Police dispatch confirmed something important. There were 0 calls for service in that area that night. Lieutenant Morrison interviewed all 6 witnesses one by one. Dr. Williams' vehicle registration was checked. It was clean. It matched her name. Now Davidson's story started falling apart. Claim 1, she was acting suspicious, wouldn't identify herself. Reality, the body cam showed her immediately stating she worked there. She pointed to her badge. She identified herself within 15 seconds. Claim 2, she matched a description of a trespassing suspect. Reality, there were no trespassing calls within 3 miles that night. Dispatch confirmed 0 matching reports. Davidson made this up. Claim 3. She became aggressive and resisted when I tried to verify her identity. Reality, all 5 camera angles showed her standing still. Her hands were visible. Her voice was calm. She pulled back when he grabbed her. That's a normal human reaction. Claim 4. I didn't see her hospital badge clearly. Reality, enhanced body cam footage showed the badge in clear view for 4 full minutes before the arrest. Her name and photo were visible. At 12:31 a.m., Lieutenant Morrison gave Davidson an order. Return to the station immediately. Dr. Williams was offered a medical check. She said no, she had no injuries. Lieutenant Morrison issued a formal apology on behalf of the department. Davidson was removed from patrol duty. An investigation would begin. Internal Affairs opened a case. The case number was 2023 IA 847. All video evidence was taken and saved. They documented everything right away. Dr. Williams was photographed. Wrist marks from the handcuffs were visible. Witness statements were taken and signed. All 6 witnesses. The hospital filed an incident report. A formal complaint was attached. Lieutenant Morrison filed a police incident report. It was flagged for review. Davidson's service weapon and badge were taken. Davidson's reactions were caught on camera. At first he was defensive. I was just doing my job. Then he was in denial. This is being blown out of proportion. Then he got desperate. Can we just talk about this? Finally he went silent. His hands were shaking. He stared at the ground. Sergeant Torres spoke to Davidson. Get in the car, don't say another word. Dr. Williams needed help getting home. Her colleague Dr. Chen drove her. She was too shaken to drive. The hospital offered trauma counseling. She said yes. Staff members hugged her. Several were crying. She stayed silent most of the ride. She stared out the window. She sent a text to her department. I won't be in tomorrow. I need time. By 1:00 a.m., Dr. Williams was home with her daughters. Officer Davidson was being questioned by Internal Affairs, and someone had already uploaded the video. Within 3 hours, it had 400,000 views. If you believe accountability matters, hit that subscribe button right now. At 12:47 a.m. on Wednesday, Nurse Marcus Hayes uploaded a 4-minute clip to Twit. The caption said, "Black doctor arrested at her own hospital in her scrubs after saving lives all day. This is America." By 1:15 a.m., the video had 50,000 views and 2,000 retweets. By 2:30 a.m., it was trending #1 in the metro area. Activist accounts picked it up. By 3:45 a.m., it hit 400,000 views. Local news crews monitoring social media were alerted. By 6:00 a.m., a national hashtag was trending. Justice for Dr. Williams had 1.2 million views. By 9:00 a.m., CNN, MSNBC, and Fox were all covering the story. They obtained the body cam footage. By noon, the video had 5.8 million views across TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. By 6:00 p.m., it was the lead story on national evening news. All the major networks covered it. By midnight, 24 hours later, the video had 14 million combined views. International outlets were covering it. Here's the breakdown. On Twitter, it got 8.2 million views, 340,000 retweets, and 89,000 quote tweets. On TikTok, it reached 4.1 million views, 670,000 likes, and 45,000 duets. On Instagram, it hit 1.9 million views. Celebrities and medical organizations shared it. On YouTube, the original Upload Plus news clips got 2.3 million views combined. On Reddit, it was the top post on 3 major forums. Combined, those posts got 890,000 upvotes. The public response was massive. One comment said, "She taught him first aid and he arrested her. You cannot make this up." It got 127,000 likes. Another said, "Black excellence literally in scrubs and they still see a threat. I'm so tired." It got 98,000 likes. One more said, "The way she stayed calm while being humiliated. That composure is why she saves lives." It got 85,000 likes. The media coverage kept growing. CNN ran the headline, "When saving lives isn't enough. Doctor arrested after 14-hour shift." MSNBC held a panel discussion on racial profiling in healthcare settings. Local news interviewed Dr. Chen defending Dr. Williams. Medical journals published opinion pieces on racism in medicine. The hospital responded 12 hours after the incident. We stand with Dr. Williams and are cooperating fully with investigations into this unacceptable incident. The police department responded 18 hours later. Officer has been placed on administrative leave pending investigation. 3 days later, Dr. Williams did something Officer Davidson never expected. She didn't just file a complaint, she called a press conference. Comment below what you would have done in her situation. On September 18, 2023, 6 days after the incident, Dr. Williams took action. She hired civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump. He's a high-profile national attorney. On September 25, 2023, they filed a federal civil rights lawsuit in U.S. District Court. The defendants were Officer Jake Davidson, the Metro Police Department, and the City of Metro. The claims included violation of the Fourth Amendment for unlawful seizure, violation of the 14th Amendment for racial discrimination, false arrest and false imprisonment, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and municipal liability for inadequate training and supervision. The damages they asked for, $16 million. During the discovery phase, things got worse for Davidson. Internal Affairs pulled his complete record. He had 14 complaints in 9 months. That showed a pattern. 12 involved black civilians. That was statistical evidence of bias. 3 prior incidents happened at the same hospital area. Field training reports said he needed improvement in community interactions. They found department emails too. A supervisor had warned about Davidson's cowboy mentality 2 months before the arrest. Someone requested to extend his probation. It was denied due to staffing shortages. Davidson never completed implicit bias training. The academy recommended it. The video evidence was perfect. 5 hospital cameras plus the body cam. It was proof you couldn't argue with. Expert witnesses lined up. A police practices expert called it a textbook example of racial profiling. A medical expert confirmed Dr. Williams' credentials and contributions. A psychologist testified about her trauma and ongoing impact. The district attorney reviewed the case for criminal charges. They considered official misconduct, false imprisonment, and civil rights violations. In October 2023, they made a decision. No criminal charges would be filed. The reason given was insufficient evidence of criminal intent. The public was outraged. Internal Affairs completed their investigation in November 2023. That was 8 weeks. The findings, sustained on all counts: unlawful detention without reasonable suspicion, failure to de-escalate, failure to accept credible identification, conduct unbecoming an officer. The recommendation was termination. On November 15, 2023, the police chief made his decision. Officer Jake Davidson was terminated effective immediately. The union filed a grievance. It was denied. The termination was upheld. Settlement talk star. TED, the city's first offer in December 2023, was $500,000 plus policy reforms. Dr. Williams rejected it. This isn't about money, it's about accountability. Mediation sessions ran from January to February 2024. The city feared trial publicity. They feared depositions of police leadership. The final settlement came in March 2024. The financial part was $8.5 million to Dr. Williams. Policy reforms were mandated. Mandatory implicit bias training quarterly for all officers. Body cam footage review by an independent civilian board. A community liaison position created. Officers with 3 or more sustained complaints go on automatic desk duty. A public apology from the mayor and police chief. And the settlement did not include a non-disclosure agreement. Dr. Williams insisted on that. Davidson faced personal consequences too. Professionally, he was terminated. He's ineligible for rehire in law enforcement statewide. His post-certification was revoked. He can't work as a cop in the state. He can't find security work. Background checks reveal the viral incident. Financially, the city paid the settlement. He had no personal liability in the civil suit, but he had legal fees, and he filed for bankruptcy in 2024. He can't find work. Socially, his relationship ended. He moved out of state. His identity is widely known. His social media stays off. Dr. Williams, the hospital named her Physician of the Year in 2024. She was promoted to Vice Chair of Anesthesiology. She expanded her role in police medical training. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. On March 28, 2024, 6 months after the incident, Dr. Williams held a press conference. It was on the city courthouse steps. She talked about the personal impact. For weeks, I couldn't sleep. Every time I walked to my car, I looked over my shoulder. I'm a doctor, I save lives, and I was treated like a criminal in the place where I heal people. She continued, "My daughters asked me why the police officer was mean to mommy. How do you explain to a 7-year-old that sometimes your skin color matters more than your credentials?" She spoke from her professional perspective. "I teach police officers how to save lives. I've worked beside law enforcement in trauma bays. I know the good ones exist, but I also know what happened to me happens to people without my resources every single day. The only reason I'm standing here is because I had witnesses, cameras, credentials, and a platform. What about the retail worker, the teacher, the person walking home from the bus stop? They deserve the same dignity I was denied." Her message to workers was clear. If you've been profiled, humiliated, or abused, at work, in public, anywhere, you have rights. You don't deserve to be treated as less than human because of how you look. Her message to those in power was firm. Policies on paper mean nothing without enforcement. Training sessions mean nothing without accountability. We need real change, not statements. She said what she wanted. "I want every officer to see that video and ask themselves, would I have stopped her if she were white? I want departments to confront their bias. I want cities to protect their residents, not just their officers." She showed gratitude. "To my colleagues who stood up for me that night, you showed courage. To everyone who shared the video and demanded justice, you gave me strength. To my hospital, thank you for standing by me." Her closing quote was powerful. "I didn't ask to be the face of this issue, but since I am, I'm going to use my voice, because dignity isn't negotiable, respect isn't optional, and being black in America shouldn't be probable cause." But this case exposed something much bigger than one officer's bias. This isn't just about one bad cop. Black Americans are 3.5 times more likely to be stopped by police than white Americans. Black professionals report being racially profiled at work at rates 2.7 times higher than white people. Only 30% of police misconduct cases result in officer discipline. Termination happens in fewer than 12% of cases. Dr. Williams had every possible protection: education, credentials, professional status, institutional support. She was on her employer's property in professional clothes with her ID visible. She had multiple witnesses. She had video evidence. She had financial resources. She had media support, and she was still arrested. Imagine those without these advantages. So let me ask you, do we actually believe implicit bias training works if officers still can't recognize a doctor in scrubs at her own hospital? Do we actually believe in accountability if the taxpayers pay the settlement while the officer just moves to another state? Do we actually believe protect and serve applies to everyone if a woman who teaches cops how to save lives can't walk to her car without being handcuffed? Because if we don't fix the culture, if we don't close the legal loopholes, if we don't create real consequences, then we're just waiting for the next Officer Davidson, the next Dr. Williams, the next viral video that changes nothing. Comment below if you believe police officers should face personal financial liability for civil rights violations, because right now they don't, and maybe that's the problem. If you think stories like this matter, hit that subscribe button. We're going to keep exposing these patterns. We're going to keep demanding accountability. We're going to keep fighting for real reform, for real change, for a world where your credentials actually matter more than your skin color. This isn't just about one rookie cop or one doctor. It's about all of us and the system we are willing to tolerate. What side of that fight are you on? See you in the next one.